Well, how's it going, you glorious Rascallion Resonators? The name is FOXSOL. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to some more Wuthering Waves. And like in every video I like to do, I'm hoping you're having a terrific, fantastic, amazing day. So, in today's video, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Baizhi. We're going to do a Baizhi guide, pretty much, and discuss how I operate my Baizhi, what makes sure basically my top support in almost every single team that I do, and what is the unique strategies that I do around her. Will this be optimal for you? I don't know, but let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so getting into Baizhi, a 4-star Glacio support character that's main attribute is to heal and buff up, the characters that she's healing with an attack buff, which I'm not too worried about. I'm mostly worried about her healing capabilities, and that's what this guide is going to focus around. Now, like I stated in the intro, this is not an optimal build for Baizhi, which you're going to see, but this is my Baizhi. She does the job that I want her to do. Okay. And we'll break those down. We're going to talk about the weapons. We're going to talk about the resonant chain. We're going to talk about the Forte set, and we're even going to the Forte skill tree, excuse me. And we're even going to talk about the echo sets. Okay. But before we get into that, I'm just want to say it like this. Baizhi is my secondary waifu. She is pretty much the best support that I like to put on different teams. I understand that Verana, like I said, is, the top tier support character for healing. But I think Baizhi is very good at the job as well. And you don't see too many people, actually talk about Baizhi and give her the praise of what, how good she actually is. And that's what this guide is going to be based around, is saying, hey, look, Baizhi is a great, healer. She's a great support. So without further ado, let's go ahead and break down everything and talk more while we're getting through it. All right, so the first thing we're going to end up talking about is Baizhi's weapon. And the one that I'm using right now is Variation. To be completely honest, this was the first weapon that I put on her. I ranked it up to rank 5. And the main reason for it is because, I want to make sure that the resident skill set, when we cast it, it's going to restore 16 of the Concerto energy. And I want to make sure that it also had the energy regen to help support, the alt itself to make it come out faster. Now, in terms of this, you could go ahead, you could use, Cosmic Ripples. That would be fine. You can even go ahead and use Comet Flare, which would even be more of a benefit probably because of the idea that it does support, an additional HP percentage of 6.7 at base level right here. And then when we upgrade, it would get bigger. And as you know, Baizhi heals based on her, her HP pool. But it would be good for that as well. But, by the time I got Comet Flare, I'd already had Variation, and I already had Variation built up, so there was really no point in me at that point in time to build up Comet Flare. But if I was to have Comet Flare first and looking at it, this is probably the weapon that I would have legitimately built up, and I probably will do that in the future and use this weapon on Baizhi because we're not worried about attack percentages anymore. We're not worried about energy regen no more, to be completely honest. The Concerto energy right here, which basically allows you to, build up the energy to swap out a character faster, is the only thing that really does support-wise for Baizhi to make it a little bit easier. So that way we can switch over to our sub DPS or our main DPS when necessarily and get that outro and intro skill going. So there is different ways of handling the weaponry scheme. In this one, you're going to see that we're using Variation, but I would ultimately probably recommend Comet Flare to be the one that you want to use for Baizhi in the future purposes. So take that with however you want. All right, moving on to the Forte Circuit, we always take a look first and foremost at the outro skill, which is Rejuvenating Flow. We will heal an incoming resonator by 1.54% of Baizhi's max HP every 3 seconds for 30 seconds. The healed resonator has their damage amplified by 15% for the next 6 seconds, which is not truly an amazing outro skill by any means. It's decent, mid basically. It's not really the lowest of the lowest, it's not really the best, it's just right there in the middle, and it does its job. When we look at her Forte Circuit, you'll see that, we got several different things here to look at, like concentration. Baizhi will consume all concentration when casting heavy attack or resonant skill emergency plan. To continuously heal all resonators on the nearby teams, one concentration consumed provides one healing, and the healing happens every 2 seconds. When Baizhi consumes concentration to cast heavy attack, Baizhi additionally restores the Conchera energy and restoration energy. When Baizhi consumes concentration to cast resonance emergency plan, Baizhi additionally restores Conchero energy. That's another reason why we have the weapon with variation, which I figured would be a good benefit in that regards. So Baizhi can hold up to 4 concentrations, and Baizhi obtains 1 concentration for every basic attack on hit. So every time you hit, you're going to get 1 bar of concentration, which you'll see on the screen later. That is just right there where all your Forte skills show up. When we upgrade that, we're going to get the harmonic range. When Baizhi casts resonant skill, emergency plan, Yotan generates a field of Idlofia, whatever, that lasts for 15 seconds. And this will help increase the attack of the resonators who pick it up for 15% for the next 20 seconds. So there's like a little orb that will show up on the screen when you switch out to another resonator, Baizhi, whatever, and you go click it, you'll get your attack, percentage up by 15% for the next 20 seconds. With that, we have stimulus feedback. Baizhi's heavy attack on hit will heal characters with the lowest HP on nearby teams by 0.25% of her max HP, which is, again, another skill that is more or less mid-tier, decent, not the best. Resonant skill. This is emergency plan. This is where when you attack a target, you'll deal glacial damage while immediately healing all characters on the nearby teams. Basic attack is all based on glacial damage. Your basic heavy mid dodge counters. Resin liberation. Baizhi summons Yotan to heal all characters on nearby teams, stacking up to 4 remnant entities. These remnant entities will follow active team members. 1 stack of entities will automatically perform coordinated attacks every 2.5 seconds, dealing glacial damage on hit while healing all characters of the team when the active character is within range. Finally, we have the intro skill where Baizhi will call Yotan and will perform 1 plunging attack, dealing glacial damage while healing all characters on the nearby team. So as you can see, the entire skill tree is based around glacial damage and healing characters on the team. That is the entire idea of all of this. So the one thing I will state in this is that when you are building up your skill tree and you're leveling up things, leveling up resonant skill will be your first primary idea along with Forte Circuit. I would keep these two balanced. As you can see, they're both level 8. Resonant skill, resonant liberation, intro skill, and normal attack will be on the back burner. And the way I say this is that we want to get this to level 10. We want to get this to level 10. Then we're going to work on resonant liberation to get this to level 10. Then I would go to normal attack, and then intro skill being the final one to actually build up. This is the way I would handle the skill tree. And like I stated, is that everything here is based upon doing glacial damage, which we're not really going to be too worried about the glacial damage because Baizhi is not going to be, my Baizhi in particular, is not coming in to be a heavy hitter. Her job is to make sure that we're healing every single one of our team members as much and as best as possible. Alrighty, so now moving on to the resonance chain, you can see that we have a summon 6 Baizhi, which in all honesty, if you are, looking at other characters and you're summoning for other characters, Baizhi is like one of the easiest characters to pull a lot of on the banners. She pretty much comes in all the damn time. So there should be no reason why getting her to level 6 is really not an issue, especially if you're summoning. But we'll go through each and every one of them. The first one is Complex Simplicity, where the Resonant Skill Emergency Plan additionally restores 2.5 Resonant Energy for every 1 concentration consumed, which is pretty decent. Her second one, which is Silent Tundra. The Resonant Skill Emergency Plan will increase Baichi's glacial damage bonus by 15%. And her healing by 15% if she has 4 concentration, and this effect will last for 12 seconds. With Forte Lux Meh, however you want to pronounce that, the intro skill Overflowing Frost increases Baichi's max HP by 12% for the next 10 seconds. Internal Verity, upon casting Resonant Liberation, Momentum Union, Resonant Liberation, the Remnant entities will gain the following enhancements. The entities can now be performed 2 more times, and the healing multiplier of Remnant entities will be increased by 20%. Remnant entities will also deal an additional glacial damage based on 1.20% of Baichi's main max HP. When it comes to a wished answered, if a team member is knocked out when Baichi's alive on the team, immediately will be revived and they will have 100% of their max HP restored. This effect can be triggered once every 10 minutes. So in no circumstances with this one, this happens a lot. Like let's say you find a holographic boss and something happens, you forget that the fucking monkey farts right here and you get killed. Guess what happens? If you haven't already triggered it and is past your 10 minutes, pretty much your character will come back on the screen fully alive with 100% of their max HP. But to take into account when this happens, you will lose, all your forte you've built up, all your energy regen you built up. The character will be basically back to square one, and you have to build up your alt, you have to build up your forte skills and everything, all that back up again. It'll be just like, you just added them straight back to the team from death, pretty much. And lastly, Seeker's Devotion. When Euthymia is picked up, it increases the glacial damage of all characters nearby by 12% for the next 20 seconds. So if, for example, you are doing a glacial, team with a glacial DPS or something, this comes in handy because you can get an additional, 12% glacial damage for 20 seconds by having the little orb that's on the ground by picking it up, as well as the healing and everything else. So it is beneficial. It's out of all of this, the main resonant skill, the main resonant chain that I would say is actually the biggest of them all would be rank 5, would be summon 5. Summon 5, a wish answered, in my personal opinion, is legitimately the best out of the entire resonance chain. Everything else does work very well, but 5 is a pretty big, it's a pretty big emergency plan, fuck you, like, oh shit, you fucked up, this is your get out of free jail card right here. So that is the resonance chain. Let's go on to the echo sets now. All right, taking the time to take a look at the echo sets of Baichi, you're going to notice that I am doing a split build. Now this is where you're going to see a lot of people, if they watch this video, tell me I'm wrong or whatever. And I'm going to tell you right now, this has worked for me. This is the best for me, and I'll explain the reason why. But we are doing both a Moonlit Clouds and we're doing a Rejuvenation Glow of 50-50. We're not doing a full set of Moonlit Clouds, nor are we doing a full set of Rejuvenation Glow. And I will say it like this, you could do either one. You could go to a 50-50 build, you could do a full 5 set Moonlit Clouds, or you could do a full 5 set Rejuvenation Glow. That is up to you how you want to do it. The only reason why we are doing a 50-50 on this right here, because if we go ahead and we actually take a look at some things, I explained this before in other videos, but you see, with a full 5 set of Moonlit Clouds, upon the Ultra skill, will increase the attack of the next Resonator 22.5% for the next 15 seconds. In all honesty, I'm not worried about that, not with my support healer. I'm worried about that when it comes to my sub DPS going to my main DPS. So just having the 10% energy regen is great, but I get told, well, go to Rejuvenation Glow. With Rejuvenation Glow, you know, I get a healing bonus of 10%, and it will increase the attack of all party members by 15% for the next 30 seconds upon healing allies, which is also really good. But when you look at certain things, I'm losing, if I do a full set of, you know, Rejuvenation Glow, I'm losing a 10%, you know, energy regen bonus. If I do a full set of Moonlit Clouds, I'm losing an additional 10% of healing. I would suggest, in all honesty, doing a full 5-set Rejuvenation Glow will probably be the most optimal set that you could possibly do in all honesty. But I went with a 50-50 build. And the main reason why I went with a 50-50 build was because I wanted to have 2 boss characters to be able to do a healing bonus of 26.4% and a 26.4%, which does a lot of healing. And that is with the Moonlit Clouds. When you take a look at, you know, doing a Rejuvenation Glow, the only one you got is Bellborn. And doing a set of 4-3-3-1-1 is not going to be that optimal for what we're trying to achieve. What we're trying to achieve here is make, you know, a fully blown, I want to heal as much as possible Baizhi. That's the reason why we did a 50-50 set. Now, doing a 4-4-1-1-1 set in Moonlit Clouds, yeah, that could work. But again, I'm losing the additional 10% healing with Rejuvenation Glow. What I would recommend is doing the 50-50 build for the temporary time, and then when another boss comes in the future for Rejuvenation Glow, that we can get, you know, a healing bonus on for, you know, a 26.4% like this at max 25, and throw that in and do a full, you know, 4-4-1-1-1 set on Rejuvenation Glow. And that would be absolutely the best route to go. But doing a 4-3-3-1-1-1, you know, with Moonlit, with Rejuvenation Glow versus a 4-4-1-1-1 build on a 50-50 build like this, in all honesty, you're not going to be healing as good as you would be in this type of build. So it depends on what you're trying to achieve. Again, this is not a full optimized build in any which way, shape, form when it comes to echoes, but it does work for me. And the thing about it is that the one thing that we want to make sure about when we're doing our echoes, okay, is that yes, the 2 first ones, the 4/4s, are both going to be healing. We're going to try to make sure that resonant skill damage as well as energy regen is going to be the primary things that we are looking at to ensure that they're being substated as much as possible. After which, for them, when it comes down to our 1-1-1s, HP. If we can get HP percentages like this right here, HP, that is great. That is what we want. We want to get Baizhi as much HP as possible. And here, again, I had an HP percentage in here. This is not really a good Rejuvenation Glow. I wish I had a double HP on here. I wish I had a resonant skill damage, you know, bonus, excuse me, I want resonant skill damage, not liberation damage in here. But hey, it is what it is. It's still, we're just trying to make the character work at this time. Same thing here, you know, I got HP, I got defense, I got skill, I got energy regen, I got a little bit of HP. This is a decent echo. It's not the best echo. And by having that, we got, with just the echoes itself, we had 36%, you know, energy regen addition. We have a 19 right here, 500 HP add-on, which altogether gives us 33,847 HP. We don't care about attack. We got a decent, you know, 1,300 on the defense. We probably could have done better there. And our energy regen is right there at over 150% at 184%, which is good. All right. But the idea here is that we want to have max HP. We want to make sure that we're doing our best to make Baizhi, you know, a heavy healer, not a heavy hitter, a heavy healer. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, basically at the game itself. Let's go play with a little bit of Baizhi so we can go showcase our healing with the character. All right, taking a look at Baizhi now in the open world, we're going to take a look at the healing factors on her. So, where we talked about resonant skill, you know, damage, our resonant skill, our skill right here is what is going to call in basically our Pokemon and allow us to heal. As you can see, without any Forte on there, we have a healing of 4,600. We have the little guy, we have the little orb that is produced on the ground to where if we switch over to another character and grab it, we get for the additional damage applied onto it. And if it would be a glacial character, an additional 12% on top of that. But coming back to Baizhi, we're going to go run around real quick and we're going to go find an enemy real quick to showcase this. But we have 4 concentration meter that we can fill up. When us filling up 4 concentration meter, our healing does go up to 5,075, and that can go up higher than that, especially when we build up our skill tree even more. And that is the idea. The idea is that we want to make it to where with Baizhi, emergency plan is going to be our #1 source of healing. It is going to be the fastest way for us to heal a character. As you can see with our alt, right now we're pretty much getting close to building that up as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go find some more enemies real quick, go beat the crap out of them a little bit and do some more healing. With the Bellborn, we're going to use the shield as well, which will provide shield for our team. This is why I really do like this one. We are going to do our best to make sure that we're doing healing. Ta-da. All right, let's go ahead and kill these guys off real quick, so that way we can see the alt healing. So with everything being stated and everything being shown, with our alt, we can go ahead and pop this. And our alt right now is going to give us a 1,800 initial healing. Along with that, we get a 917, healing as well. But, it all works out. With a full heal, emergency plan is the way to go with Baizhi. I'm not worried about her alt. I am worried about, when I'm in the middle of a battle against a holographic boss, whatever, hologram boss, whatever, that if I'm going to be taking a hit, I'm looking for, getting the orb to get more attack damage out. I'm looking for that, but I am looking for where after 16 seconds, I can pop this again. And making sure that, I like to keep Baizhi on the field for a little bit. I like to make her do her basic attacks, 4 basic attacks to build up that bar. Once it's built, I'm guaranteed to have 5,000 healing plus. And you don't have to have Baizhi completely leveled up, but by working in the skill tree, working in it and building up that resonant skill and building it up as high as possible will make sure that you are healing quite well. And like I said, I don't think that, I'll say it like this. Brana is probably the most OP healer there is, but I don't see much love for Baizhi, and Baizhi is my top healer. I think that she does her job really well. There's no complication to it. It's very simple. She comes in, she heals, it's done. And I can swap over to the next character. Baizhi, by far, to me, is my favorite support, my favorite healer on his team. I am guaranteed, straight up, that there is going to be a lot of healing involved around it. As well, before I forget, when you're building up and everything, and you see this move right here, this move, as long as it is hidden an enemy, if you have characters like I stated before, that is low on your team, this will also provide additional healing to them. So I'm going to leave it with that. I know this is kind of more of a shorter guide than anything that I've done before, but I think it's straight to the point, very simplistic. And if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know down in the comments below, and I will surely do my best to try to address them. But this is Baizhi, and this is my favorite support. This is legitimately my favorite healer, and I'm going to be making another video soon enough, because we are going to be getting the Shorekeeper and such, and working on doing a build for her, because we need more supports in the game rather than DPSs. That is my entire personal preference, and that's what we're going to discuss about next time on another video. Is just we need more supports. So Otherwise than that, guys, this is the Baizhi guide. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully, you know, it does help you out. If you haven't used her, maybe you should consider using her. Otherwise than that, you guys have a good one. Keep it real, keep it tight, keep it amazing, keep it jazzy, keep it classy, and always keep it real. I'll see you in the next video, hopefully very soon. All right, take it easy, have a good one, and I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.